The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, says Asia will account for the bulk of global growth this year and next. The OECD's interim report in February said India, Indonesia, along with China's $18 trillion economy, will be the biggest contributor to the global GDP. Their growth will help sustain modest growth in world GDP within the 3% range in 2024 and 2025.
The overall picture in this economic outlook is a continuation of modest global growth through 2025 at rates well below historical averages. We project global growth, global GDP to grow at 2.9% this year, mildly lower than last year's 3.1%, related to the effects of tight monetary policy. For next year, we expect growth to pick up ever so slightly to 3% as inflation declines further and real incomes strengthen.
Now, for more on this, let's bring in Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow of Chongyang Institute of Finance at Renmin University. Happy New Year, Professor Liu. So first, could you break down the January global manufacturing PMI data? What can we learn from that?
I think we can learn a lot from the data released today from the global PMI index. We can see that the figure is quite positive and satisfactory. Even it only has a 49.3%, but it has already increased by 1.3% compared to the previous month. Because this tendency shows that already that suspended the jobs trend in the last 9 months, because in the last 9 months that all this PMI always remain very low under the margin of the market. So this is a very positive signal to the world, especially for this data. If we can break down, we can see a lot of differences, especially for the Asian market. PMI Asian market are already over 50%. This is a very important signal that to the global market, that means the Asian market is still the major driving for the world economic recovery. Of course, the other areas, for instance, Europe and Africa, still remain under margin, but we still see that the good opportunities for this market could be catch up for a better performance this year. But we hope that this month and the next month, all this market in Asia and the other areas that could be well managed and improved. We hope that the PMI signals can send more better and positive signals to the world, to the market, especially for emerging market. We need such a good news in order to have more confidence and encourageable effort to be given to the market.
Yeah, definitely a good start to the year. Now, looking forward, what's your outlook for the manufacturing industries for the whole of 2024?
I think for the whole 2024, we're still under pressure and turbulences. So we see that this year is not so easy compared to the last year, because we have the problems and challenges left by the last year. The pressure is not released or is not emancipated. So the market is waiting for better performances, for better policy that driven the economic recovery globally. For China, we see that the domestic market, the PMI is also quite positive. From the big companies that are over 50% is remain very good performance. This is a very important signal to the world market, because the global market always check this Chinese market, the PMI, especially for those big companies. So in this way that we can see a lot of opportunities this year for China. But PMI for this year, I think a little bit conservative, because it's still under turbulences, because we know that the geopolitical conflicts still remain there, and we cannot see any bright and clear signal that this conflict could be stopped or suspended immediately for a while. So we see that a lot of challenges and the conflicts were between the geopolitical and economic development, which one will have more influences in the world development we will see.
Yeah. And we also saw the OECD's upward revision of the 2024 global economic growth forecast to 2.9%. Also, it's emphasized on Asia as a driver of growth in the world economy. What are the implications of that?
We can see there's a little bit slight difference between this data from OECD and the IMF. If I'm right, that IMF has the forecast 3.1%, that's a little bit increased for the positive growth in this year, but OECD a little bit conservative, more cautious, but still 2.9% is better than expected of many experts all over the world. So because many people and experts expected and forecast this year's growth around 2.6%. So nowadays we have 0.3% higher than expectation. That is really a good news. But we need more investment. We need more innovation, especially for those policy driven countries. For instance, the European countries, they need a lot of encouraged policy to support their economic recovery. At the moment, they are under pressure, and also because of the geopolitical tension around them. So we see that really big uncertainties ahead of us for this year. So, but Asian countries is very positive, always plays a very optimistic role that in the world market, especially the emerging market in Asian countries. They were driving a lot for the innovation for new technologies, because the only big difference that the Asian countries are in peaceful development. We don't have any serious conflicts. For instance, Indonesia, India, and China, and all other countries are trying best and concentrate their efforts in economic recovery. This is a big difference compared to other areas.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your insights. Really great to have